English is just impossible. Well, if you don't know what English is, it's a language, basically. Basically, that's a language. If you don't know what a language is a means of passing information from one person to another through the act of speaking. It can also be written, doesn't have to be spoken. It's just a means of passing a message. Even it could be body language, it could be spoken, and it could be even computers. Even computers have computer languages. So a language is basically a means of communication between one person and another. So if you don't know what a person is, a person is basically me as you can see me right now, and you, assuming you're not a robot watching this, you are a person. You are a person. But if you don't know what a robot is, a robot is basically um, something that operates like a person, but is not a person. Yeah, we could call it a computer. That is not the exact definition. It's not necessarily a computer, but it's a machine of some sort that tries to mimic human behavior and intelligence. Well, if you don't know what intelligence is, intelligence is basically the ability to make smart decisions and discover things or invent things, follow instructions, and just deal with complex things in this world. So your ability to deal with more and more complex things in this world at a scientific, emotional, or social, or any political, religious, other level, and that's what we call uh, intelligence. Yeah, your level of ability to come up with solutions. Well, if you don't know what solutions are basically like the answer, the answer to a problem. Well, if you don't know what a problem is, a problem is basically something that needs to be solved. Well, there are problems that don't need to be solved, but mostly a problem is something that is looking for a solution or that warrants a solution. If you don't know what a solution is basically an answer to a question or a problem or a thought or an experience. Yeah, if you don't know what an experience is, um, it's it's basically human nature. The way of experience is like living in a certain way, I guess. Like you go to the park and enjoy your time. That's an experience. You read a book and enjoy. That's an experience. You watch some TV and enjoy it, and that's an experience. You don't know what a TV is. A TV is that screen in your home. Assuming you have a TV at home, or I know you may be watching this on your phone, your tablet, or your computer, but some of you are watching it on a TV. It's that big screen you hang in the living room or in your bed, where you can watch movies, news, listen to music, and do all that kind of stuff. If you don't know what music is some sounds that are made in a particular pitch, tone, and pace and pattern and everything. There's some nice sounding sounds, yeah, when they are put together. They may include some words or not. They may be hip hop, reggae, uh, jazz. What other ones do you have? Dance hall, R&B. Uh, what other ones do you have? Did I say reggae? Well, if you don't know what reggae is, what Bob Marley used to sing, or if you're African, you probably know of Lucky Dube. Yeah, those kinds of people sing something called reggae. Well, if you don't know who Lucky Dube is a South African reggae artist who died uh, a while back. My father was a big fan of Lucky Dube because I remember when he died. You know, my dad is a Christian who doesn't listen to secular music, but when Lucky Dube died and the TV was giving a tribute to him by playing all his music nonstop, my dad couldn't help watching. I guess it gave him some nostalgia. You know what nostalgia is? It's that feeling that you get when you think about the past, especially in a positive way. You know, you look at a past event or memory and you're like, I wish I could experience that moment again in my life. So that feeling is called nostalgia. If you don't know what a feeling is, a feeling is basically how you experience life from your inner self. It's an inward thing that I guess animals and human beings experience. I don't know whether trees, rocks, and the others have feelings, but the much we can say is that human beings have feelings, and feelings influence whether you do things like laugh, cry, frown, smile, or have an ego. I don't know. So some other things. Feelings can really influence your decisions most of the time. If you don't know what decisions are basically choices. The choices that you have to make, and they have consequences. Yeah. So those are decisions. So they are choices. If you don't know what choices are basically options. Yeah, options that uh, you choose. Options that you choose, uh, trying to get the better one of them. I know some people might be trying not to get the better one of them for comedic effect or uh, for their own purposes, which I don't know. If you don't know what no is basically you being able to I don't know, to know something. You being able to be able to have something in your brain. Yeah, having something in your brain is what is called know. I would say you know that thing since it's in your brain. You don't know what the brain is. The brain is an organ. It's an organ in your body, specifically in your head. Yeah, it is the organ you use to think, yeah, to make decisions, to do anything really. It controls your entire body and sends signals and all that. Yeah, the brain is the most important, I would say, organ in your body. I know all the other organs are important as well, but the brain is the king of the body. You don't know what a king is? King is basically a person who rules an entire population. Yeah. I know some are called presidents or chairmen or other things, but a king is in charge of something called a kingdom. Yeah. So if it's a kingdom and there's someone in charge of it, we call them a king. And a king is basically the male side of it. If the ruler is a woman, we call her a queen. Yeah, we call that a queen. So the ruler of a particular society, group, community, country, uh, which identifies as a kingdom, we will call that a king if a man or a queen if a woman. If you know what a woman is, a woman is basically the complement, the complement of a man. Uh, I know there are things that I'm not considering when I say that. Uh, in our current society, as I would put it, a man's compliment can be another man, and a woman's compliment can be another woman. So yeah, maybe you ask yourself, uh, you don't know what a compliment is. Um, a compliment is basically something that finishes something else. Like your small radio probably needs some battery, so the batteries are a complement to your radio, and the lock on your door needs a key. So a key is a complement to your lock. So yeah, men and women kind of associate in the same manner. They need each other and they depend on each other for so many things. Yeah, that I will not get to. I will not get into, but it's kind of a dependency. If you don't know what a dependency is, it's basically a relationship where one member benefits from another member, or a thing benefits from another thing. Maybe even for life itself, or for survival. The dependency can be quite a serious thing. So yeah, that's dependency. Just you benefiting from someone else for one reason or the other. Yeah, the reasons are many. I don't know what many is. It's basically a lot, a lot. Most likely more than one. Although sometimes one is too many. If you have been in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, you'll hear this saying, one is too many and a thousand never enough. It refers to the taking of alcohol. When you tell yourself that you're only going to take one beer and be done with it, and you think that is not many. But the Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous uh, big books and other literature will tell you one is too many. You realize that very soon. Once you take one, you'll want another and another, and once you've gotten to 1,000, you realize you thought 1,000 was a lot, but 1,000 is not enough either. It will not satisfy. You will continue asking for more. If you don't know what more is, it's basically you know there is something, and then there is something above that. We call that more. Yeah. If something increases in size, it is more than it was. Yeah. That's how we use the word more. So if it's the same, it's not more. If it's lesser, it's not more. More, I think the opposite of more is less. Yeah. You don't know what less is. Less is again the opposite of more. So now that you've understood what more is, you understand now the opposite. It's much easier to understand when I say the opposite now. Or if you don't know what the opposite is, it's basically it's basically there are things, like I know there is up, and then the opposite is down. Then there is left, then the opposite is right. You see, are you getting what I'm saying? Like when I'm talking about opposites, it's not like some people say the opposite of a plate is a spoon. I think they are complements in my opinion. They're not opposite. Or the opposite of a man is a woman. I don't think they are opposite. If I were to put it that way, but people use such things to demonstrate opposites. Maybe when I say a man and a woman, you're able to understand much better. Although I don't think they're opposites personally. You know what personally is? Personally is when I'm saying this is my own opinion and my own opinion only. Like I am not speaking for anyone else. I'm speaking for myself and myself uh, only. If you don't know what only is, we will. This will never end. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Goodbye. I'll see you later.